My name is Elaine Liftin. I'm the president and the executive director of the Council for Educational Change. I'm a long timer. We started out as the South Florida Annenberg Challenge for 5 years, and for the past 15 years, we've been the scale-up statewide of South Florida Annenberg. So it's been a total of 20, going on 21 years that this education reform effort has been in progress. I've been a teacher. I've been a downtown administrator in the Miami-Dade County Public Schools. I was in charge of management training. I then went out to a school and became a school principal and did a challenge effort at a school, and in 3 years we did a turnaround, and then they invited me to become the principal in residence with the Accountability Commission up in Tallahassee. So for a year I did that, and while I was there, Sister Jean O'Loughlin from Barry University said, "Are you really happy traveling up on a Monday morning and coming back on a Friday? Why don't you base yourself at Barry University, become our Associate Dean in the School of Education, and you can still do Blueprint 2000. So I said, sounds like a plan. So she bought my contract from Dade County Schools, and there I was, very happy doing my leadership training, and it was a very good experience. Then I saw that Ambassador Annenberg had given $500 million to education. There were 2 grants in New York. There was California had 2 grants, Detroit, Houston, Chicago. And I looked around and I said, there's nothing in South Florida. Are we chopped liver? You know, what happened to us? And Sister Jean said, well, if you want to make things happen, make them happen. Call up. And I said, if I can use your name, I'll be happy to do so. Fast forward, they said, if you will do a regional grant, Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties, we will consider a grant. And I was fortunate enough to be able to work with some very outstanding individuals. We were able to get the 3 counties together, the major business concerns together, and from that we wrote the Annenberg Challenge. They accepted it for $100 million, but we didn't get $100 million. It was a challenge grant. So we had to raise $33.3 million in private resources, then get the school districts to reposition their resources so that they would match that. And then we drew down the 3rd leg of the stool, which was the Annenberg resources. Well, it was a really phenomenal project, because the whole purpose was, how do you improve the academic performance of underserved students? And that's what we did. We did approximately 102 different projects, sometimes $450,000, you know, over multi-years. We impacted more than 350 of the 700 schools at that time. We impacted 17,000 teachers and over 250,000 students. Very heavy evaluation from the University of Miami and Auburn University as third-party, you know, external review. And across all of that, we found that there were 3 key things that improved the academic performance of underserved students. The very first one was the quality of the leadership at the school site. When you had a principal with a can-do attitude who could marshal the troops and bring everybody together, build a vision and carry it over, you had a winner. Second was the quality of the staff. We didn't fund 40 computers for every classroom. We wanted to know that teachers knew how to integrate the technology into their instruction, that they knew how to benchmark performance to measure learning gains, and nowadays how to give feedback, individual feedback to students so that they succeeded. And the third was very important. It was partnership. It was the partnerships of the parents, the local community, the business leaders, the key influential leaders. When they backed the school, you had a winner. So taking these factors, we were very fortunate that we had Leonard Miller of Lennar, who was our board chair, who could help us raise the the $33.3 million. Otherwise, there would have been no Annenberg Challenge. But what we learned from that was the importance of the partnership and such. At the conclusion of the Annenberg Challenge, Leonard wanted his legacy to be taking what we had learned and scaling it statewide. And that's what we did. We formed, from that, Annenberg because we're one of the successful Annenbergs, allowed us to say we were established by the Florida Annenberg Challenge. And you know, that's quite an endorsement. And so we moved statewide, and we built our mission on top of what it is we had learned. Everything was research-based. So the mission of the Council for Educational Change now is to engage the business community with the schools in partnership so that the business community can mentor, those successful leaders can mentor the school leaders so that they can really achieve the maximum benefit for their students. Because you know, when a person wants to become a principal and they go to college and they get their degree, their focus, their master's program focuses on being a good instructional leader. And that's very significant because that's your core job, to be able to deal with the instruction and be a good leader. But when you take a business person who's been successful and they've gone through an MBA program, there are leadership skills that they have, that they've mastered, that transfer beautifully to a school environment. For example, how do you communicate with multiple publics? How do you delegate so that you can really get accountability? Things of that nature, because you know, a principal is a CEO of a multi-million-dollar corporation. It's not just the instruction, but it's the guidance services, it's the food services, it's the building itself, it's the performance appraisal, it's a whole variety of different functions that they have. So when you take the leadership skills that you get from a business leader and you embed them with that leadership that they have, you really get successes. Before I came, we calculated it out, and we've invested over the course of Annenberg and such $9 million in Miami-Dade County. We've impacted more than 200,000 students in Miami-Dade. We have worked in over 200 schools, and we've impacted at least 14,000 teachers and 600 school leaders, because we took the PASS program. Not everybody can afford to put $100,000 over 3 years, which, by the way, the legislature now appropriates to us money each year that we can use to match, because when they appropriate monies to us, when we write our program, we let them know for every dollar that you invest in us, we match that with the business community investing in the schools. So that's how we do that. But as I said, not everybody has $100,000 to invest, even though you can have a group of people to invest it. So what we have is what we call executive PASS. And that's where you have the business person forming the relationship with the school leader without the requirement. And that's like a 1 year where they get together. But after that 1 year, they stay together. And some of those have evolved over the years into the PASS program.